Creative Brain Candy by creators for creators.
Welcome to Simply Stogies, Cigars and Coffee. I am one of your hosts, James. Everyone, welcome back. Tim, we're very happy to have Tim back with us.
I was fired and then rehired.
Well, Randy sucked.
Damn it.
So you're back, unfortunately. But we're happy to have you back. We're back here at Habano, 432 East 4th Street, Davenport, Iowa. And we can already tell this is going to go. I might want Randy back before this is all over, before this is said and done. Today is Wear Silly Hats to Work Day.
It is not a silly hat. This is a professional hat. A good old scally cap, one of my favorites. I've had many shitty scally caps, and then I found a new company that makes really nice quality ones. So this is actually number 1 of 4 that I have purchased.
1 of 4 that he's purchased. This is the only one I have, this fedora that I wore at the Queen City Cigar Fest. But we'll get into all of that. We'll talk about a lot that's been going on. We'll talk about the
different
cigars.
things that we've been doing.
All the different things we've been doing. We've been doing a lot.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's been busy.
It has been very busy. But before we do, let's talk about the coffee we're drinking. The coffee we're drinking today is Be Bright. It is a Guatemalan blend called San Marcos.
It is super smooth.
It is very smooth.
It is good. It's flavorful. It's smooth. This is definitely a coffee I would purchase.
So the tasting notes for this coffee are apple pie.
Yeah, I don't get the apple pie. You said raisins?
Raisins, which I can see the raisin.
Yeah, a little bit.
And vanilla, which I can kind of see.
Yeah. And kind of a nutty or chocolatey undertone as well. It's just super smooth.
Yeah, it's super smooth. It's naturally sweet-ish. There's not a lot of bitterness, which I like. I don't like an overly bitter coffee.
No, not unless you're trying to wake up.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't know.
Then.
Bitter's not that great.
It's a funny story. So everyone knows that I really like Death Wish coffee. Everybody knows that. Like Death Wish, Valhalla Java.
Everybody knows.
Since I've been drinking Janus Coffee Roasters and now Be Bright, and I'm getting ready to put in another order with Janus Coffee Roasters, that Death Wish just hits different.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
Well, I mean, if you try Death Wish, like just don't drink good coffee for a little bit, like go back to Sam's Club and get that coffee, try that for a week, and then Death Wish will taste good again.
So here's the thing. When I was when I visited my parents last month, all they had was Maxwell House, and I forgot all my coffee. It wasn't that bad. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I
would take Maxwell House over Folgers, but I would prefer not to have to make that choice. I would just prefer not to.
It wasn't terrible. It was their Colombian blend, I think.
Fair enough. Does Maxwell House, do they have anything other than Colombian blend? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't even look at it. I think it comes in a blue plastic container.
Well, these were K-cups. But
K-cups.
My parents are old. What do you want? They can't remember how to make a cup of coffee like I did in the carafe.
Technology spoils some.
Spoils me.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten to the point, because you did get a fancy coffee machine. So I'm surprised that you haven't gotten to that point yet where you have like the beacon or beakers that you suck water, push water, flow through coffee.
Randy had
It's
that.
like a science experiment to have a cup of coffee.
He wanted to do his little science experiment coffee on the last Cigars and
I
Coffee.
haven't seen this episode yet, by the way.
Nobody hasn't released yet. It
right.
releases next week.
I know, but you would think that
when
you get a hold of me and you're like, "Hey Tim, please come back. I need you. You got to see this episode." I figured you would give me like an advanced.
I got $20 that says nobody says that.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about what we're smoking. Tim, what are you smoking today?
So this is, and I don't know a whole lot about it because we came in, we picked some cigars. We're working on something that we'll mention here in a minute. And this cigar, I guess, is it kind of a Habano?
No, it's made in Chicago.
It's just a Chicago cigars.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I figured I'd give it a try. It's got a good price point. I think this one was right at $8 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a Habano wrapper. I don't know anything else about it yet. So far, it's burning good. It's pretty good so far.
There you go. I've got a PDR, which I've never heard of PDR until today when Freddie, the owner of Habano, was like, hey, you got to try this cigar. This is their top end cigar. It's like $20 for the cigar. It's the AFR 7.5.
I have not heard of that either.
Edición Limitada.
Yeah.
I paid $20 for this.
Well, hey, you're the guy that says, I will buy it and you will like it.
Yeah, he's like, so what he told me was, he's like, well, buy it. If you don't like it, you don't have to pay for it. I said, no, I'll buy it and you'll like it.
True statement.
That's just the way I am. Because I want to support local B&Ms. And this is as local to me as a B&M can be here in Davenport at 432 East 4th Street, Davenport, Iowa. And in that vein, the last couple of places that you and I have visited, we have done the Simply Stogies 5-pack. Now, we didn't do it in the last episode because it was Randy and I, and we were at the Vintage, and we hadn't yet got to know everybody as well as we would eventually get to know everybody at the Vintage. So we didn't do a Simply Stogies 5-pack there. But we're doing a Simply Stogies 5-pack today here at Habano. That Simply Stogies 5-pack, which I'm holding right here in my nicotine-stained fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Includes one of the Chicago Habanos.
Well, you can actually...
the box press.
You can actually choose whether you want the Connecticut, the Maduro, or the Habano.
Right. So it's your choice. This one that I'm holding has the Habano in it. It comes with the Tabernacle, Foundation Tabernacle Toro. It comes with the... Juarez Toro. I love Crowned Heads Juarez. For the price, you can't beat it. You just can't beat it. It comes with the...
There's only one Crowned Heads that I haven't liked, and that wasn't Crowned Heads' fault.
No, it wasn't. The Don Pepin Garcia Original, as I hit the microphone. And it comes with the Habano Lounge exclusive Drew Estate Liga Privada Pork Belly. Woo! This is $70 shipped to you straight from Habano.
Right to your door.
Right to your door. And they are going to include 4 freebies.
Oh, yeah.
This multi-tool that it just happens to have the Habano Cigar Lounge, which is probably all whited out. There you go. Logo on it.
There you go. You can see it.
This has 30 different functions, including a seatbelt cutter, a protractor, several screwdrivers, like a ratchet type deal going on. There's a bottle opener, literally 30 different things that you could do with this. That's for free. When you give Habano a call and say, I want the Simply Stogies 5-pack at 563-888-5477. Again, that number, 563-888-5477. It's on the package.
Ooh, that's very handy.
That is very handy.
I think that's a good 5-pack right there.
That is a good 5-pack.
That should be a 5-pack that anybody should be more than happy to get their hands on.
Absolutely. 100%. Has a little bit of everything for everybody. It's got a lot of different price points in there, but that pork belly, if you haven't had that pork belly, oh man, it's my favorite Liga Privada. I'm not a big LP guy. I like the Ferals a lot. And I like the pork bellies, and that's it. So let's talk about the cigar. So the cigar you're smoking today comes in the 5-pack.
It does come in the 5-pack, like I said.
What do you think of it?
So far, I mean, it's a pretty decent cigar. I have no problem smoking it. It's burning beautifully.
Any tasting notes you're getting?
I'll be honest with you right now. The coffee is what I'm tasting.
That's fair.
I can tell that it's kind of a medium, maybe a medium, a little bit more on the mild side, but I'm not really getting a whole lot from the cigar, only because this coffee is so damn good, and I've actually already almost finished my cup. It's that damn good.
It is really good. But for $20 a pound,
Woo!
It better be really good. And again, thank you to Matthew Kang, our content director at simplystogies.com, for sending us this, because I wasn't going to pay $20 a pound.
Oh, that would be like a special day coffee, $20 a pound.
Right, but coffee doesn't last that long. You open up the bag and then you got to just go through it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it loses its freshness. On this, I'm getting a lot of cardboard. Number 2 pencil.
Oh, I hate that number 2 pencil.
Yeah, it's not. Maybe it's just not a good pairing with the coffee.
Quite a bit of spice there in the retro.
There's a little sweetness, a little bit of pepper on the retro. Yeah, this isn't. I guess it's not terrible. I just don't think it pairs well with this coffee. Is it worth $20? Absolutely not. Is it worth a shot? Sure, give it a shot. I guess. Well, we'll see how far I get into this as the program goes along. But speaking of tasting notes, Tim, I bought a book. So we were at the Queen City Cigar Fest, myself and Randy, who you'll remember from the last episode.
Are you reading it, or is your wife reading it to you?
I just look at the pretty pictures.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I would do.
So while we were there, the very first day, which was probably the best day, to be honest, at the Queen City Cigar Fest, they put on a tasting. And they went through something called Pro Palette. Now, if you look it up, Pro Palette Systems, it is $350 for the box. It's not cheap. The box comes with a ton of stuff that you can go buy at the grocery store and put in jars yourself.
Okay.
Things like chocolate, things like bread, things like vanilla, things like
Himalayan sea salt,
star anise, salt and pepper. And what you do is you calibrate what you're tasting by opening up these jars and smelling them and then trying to figure out what smells like what. You eat crackers in between, you drink water. But the book so far is pretty interesting. It talks about, I'm only through the first chapter because I just got it the other day. I just started reading it last night.
Slow reader.
I'm a very slow reader.
I am too. I am a horribly slow
But
reader.
I was reading it while I was having a cigar and watching my kid, making sure she wasn't going to drown in the pool.
Fair enough.
So I was multitasking. The first chapter talks about food in America.
Okay.
And how none of us really know what food tastes like anymore because it's all modified
So it was
food product.
It was written by like a Frenchman then?
Oh, no, it was not.
Okay.
Nick Cutro.
Sounds French. I don't know.
Nick's actually big in the cigar industry. Nick provides the majority of cigar manufacturers with plastic molds to mold their cigars. Now, it used to be wooden molds, but plastic doesn't hold moisture. So the plastic molds last much longer than the wooden molds would.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so he revolutionized how cigars were manufactured. So he's been in the business for a long time, and he talks about how in America since right around the end of the World War II, everything started to become a byproduct, a food product, not food, but a food product.
Okay.
So take Wonder Bread, for example. It's not made like any other bread.
Right. It leaves you wondering if it's really bread. Yeah.
It's
No, there's a reason why there's a reason why they name it Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
Just like I can't believe it's not butter, because it's not.
A lot of wood forward on this.
We're still recording.
Are we?
Yeah. Well, so anyway, so you're looking through this book, And this book is you're on page 4, and this book is just you've learned so much.
I've learned some stuff. It's just, for example, vanilla. Let's take vanilla.
Okay,
vanilla is extremely expensive to make.
Mm-hmm.
The flower that makes vanilla blooms once a year for a total of 12 hours. You have a 12-hour window to pollinate those plants.
Okay.
So it's all done by hand to make sure that they get as much vanilla as possible. So they pollinate it by hand. That's why a vanilla bean is $4 at the grocery store. You buy a bundle, it's like $18.
Okay.
But imitation vanilla, which has one ingredient called vanillum. Vanillium? I don't know. It's like 48 cents an ounce.
Vanillium. It'll make your pecker grow brown.
I don't know what that means. I hope not. So yeah, people don't know what real vanilla tastes like. When you taste real vanilla from a vanilla bean and then you taste a vanilla imitation, it's a night and day difference.
Sure.
So Americans are just not used to it. So what are you really tasting when you taste a cigar? This book, and then that accompanies the Pro Palate System. The book itself is $35. The Pro Palate System is $350. And don't hold your breath, but maybe we might go through the Pro Palate System at some point here on Cigars and Coffee.
We'll be looking forward to that.
I feel like that was sarcasm. So
this is what you figured out while you were in on the East Coast there. Was it South Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. One of the Carolinas.
It was a good time. We talked with Yanni from the Vintage, which if you're in North Carolina or around North Carolina, like that's the spot to go. We went to several different lounges, and there's two that, out of all of the lounges we went to, there's two that I would 100% highly recommend. The first is the Vintage. It probably has the most carefully curated cigar humidor in the area. And by that, I mean, it's all really good stuff. It's very well maintained, very well taken care of. It is a high-end lounge, but still approachable. You can go in looking like Tim. You could go in looking like me, or you could go in a suit and tie and you would fit in. It's got a bar there. The bartenders are great. Tell Marshall, Simply Stogies says hi. We had a great time with them, with Yanni, with Ben, their GM, with Marshall, their bartender, and just everybody there at the Vintage was really great. So that's the first place I would really recommend that you go. They know their stuff, very knowledgeable, super classy place. The second place I would recommend you go if you're in the Charlotte area is Berners. Berners is much smaller than the Vintage. Not nearly. It's in a very affluent neighborhood. In a very affluent strip mall, large strip mall, very large strip mall. Looks very nice. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
And they have by far the best selection out of anybody in Charlotte. Bar none. They have a ton of boutique. They've got a ton of Opus X. They've got a ton of Arturo Fuente. They've got a ton of anything and everything. While we were there, they had the David and Goliath from Foundation. I hadn't seen those in a minute. Now I see other lounges are starting to get them in, but they had like boxes of each. So
did you buy one?
I bought several, not boxes.
Oh, okay.
Several cigars. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I did not buy any boxes. Fun fact, Randy bought 3 boxes on that trip.
Ooh.
Or 4. Yeah.
Interesting.
He went big spender on me.
It would have been the other way if I would have been able to go. It would have been me that just bought like 2-3 sticks, and then you would have bought 4 boxes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would have. Then I wouldn't be sitting here today because my wife would have killed me. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was a really good time. Would I do the Queen City Cigar Fest again? Probably not. Would I go to Charlotte again? Yes, 100%. Absolutely. So
was this the first year that they did that event?
It was the first year that they did the event. They put on a good event. It just wasn't my, I don't think it was my jam.
Fair enough. I mean, I like the Nebraska Cigar Festival. I like that one. Some other people that have gone with us are like, it is what it is, but that event's probably the closest event to what like the Vegas Big Smoke event would be, or Cigars International's Cigar Fest. That's what Nebraska Cigar Fest is like.
It is. And I'll be honest, the cigars that I got from Nebraska Cigar Fest, which weren't like the best cigars, much better than the cigars I got from the Queen City Cigar Fest.
Well, there you go. Well, speaking
of... And I got more. I got more cigars at the Nebraska Cigar Fest for less money than I got at Queen City Cigar Fest. Now, I did get some swag at the Queen City Cigar Fest. I would have rather had the cigars.
Oh, well, speaking of cigars that when you go to events, unfortunately you weren't able to go with me to the David's. They did a cigar dinner, and Alec Bradley was the sponsor of it, and it was a good event. I got a few pictures. They're not really great pictures, but a few pictures, and I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. I was going to write an article for the website. That did not happen. My bad.
It didn't. I even asked him, hey, you going to write an article? Yep, sure am.
Yeah. Cool. So anyway, we'll fix that for the next event, because I definitely plan on going again. But anyway, me too. So this is the Alec Bradley 4-pack that you would have gotten if you were to attend that dinner. And the dinner was okay. It wasn't phenomenal, but it was okay. But the company was good. Interesting fact, I went with Mike, and we just walked in. You basically check in. You have the option to do raffle prizes, buy raffle tickets, and then you get your cigar sampler. And then we grabbed a drink and we went outside and we just picked a random table. And we picked one that there was 2 people sitting at a table where you could fit, I think, like 10, right? Kind of stuffed around the table, whatever. So we're just sitting there hanging out. We're talking, blah, blah, blah. And guess all the other people at the table, guess who it was?
I have no idea.
Oh, man. We just happened to be sitting at the David's family table.
Oh, nice.
So I got to sit and actually have a conversation with the mother, who I believe still technically owns the business. She was really cool, really happy, really excited. So I definitely want to do that again. Anyway, this is the Alec Bradley cigar sampler. There you go. That's yours.
Oh, thank you.
You didn't go.
Thank you.
But wait, there is more. Even though he did not attend.
Well, I had extenuating.
He did.
Family circumstances.
I'm not pointing blame, but he did, out of the kindness of the guy he likes to fire all the time. I purchased him 50 raffle tickets. And he just happened to win a Lotus cigar cutter.
Why don't you purchase the tickets? You keep it.
No, I'm not a straight cut guy, and I'm not an eccentric guy. And I figured you would appreciate that a whole lot more than I will personally. So it's a nice cutter, actually.
Yeah, it is. Holy cow. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it was really neat, really nice, but unfortunately, or fortunately for you, I don't have a use for that cutter. They gave me one of the David's guillotine cutters, which is actually a large ring cutter for like nubs and stuff like that. So I would use that cutter more likely than I'm going to use.
I actually have one of those David cutters. They're very nice.
Yeah, really nice cutters. And I'll say, because I lost my original Calibri V cutter, so thank you to Jeff from Capital Cigars in Nebraska. I called him up and I said, hey man, I want to support your lounge. Do you happen to have these? He said, yep. And he said, what color do you want? I said, black or rose gold. And he sent me a replacement cutter. So thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Which, don't forget, the Capital Simply Stogies 5-pack is still available, and that's got the Kintsugi in it, which I think by now again, time travel's hard. It's hard to figure out exactly what I'm going to have time to put out, what time I'm going to have to not put out. But I think the Kintsugi full review is up, which I think I scored it much higher in the full review than I did in our review that we did at Capitol.
I think that is true. I mean, Alec Bradley, and I've said this before, a lot of the Alec Bradley, same with CAO. It seems like when you smoke that cigar, you just know it's CAO or you know it's Alec Bradley. But with that Kintsugi, I think that one's a winner. I really like. Matter of fact, I bought a box.
So this comes with Alec Bradley, Connecticut, Kintsugi, the Tempest, and the Prensado. That's a pretty good 4-pack.
Oh yeah, it's a great 4-pack actually.
I'm not a big Alec and Bradley guy, but some of their stuff's good. Some of their stuff's
I think there's
okay.
One in there. Is it the Tempest? Is the Tempest in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I got a buddy at Guard that just loves those. So I usually just, whenever I get a hold of the Tempest, I'll give it to him. But nobody's getting my Kintsugis. Those are pretty good. So,
Kintsugi's awesome.
Yeah.
Which that reminds me, I forgot all the cigars I had for your
that's
birthday.
okay. That just makes this a little bit funner for me. I know that I've given you a Mexican hot chocolate before, but you're going to have another one.
Okay, thank you. I like
which
Mexican
is from
hot
the
chocolates.
Cigar Federation Boutique Cigar Company or whatever.
Right.
This is also from Cigar Federation, a blonde bombshell.
Oh, okay.
Try it. I recommend it with coffee because later on in the day, it just didn't mix well. And then De Copa Sombrero. I really like this cigar.
Yeah, this is the one you were smoking the other night.
Yeah, I really like that one.
All right. Well, I'll have to burn this one tonight.
So anyway, so I brought you some goodies. And
right. I feel like an ass.
yeah, especially now you just can't make fun of me this whole episode.
I don't think I have. It's very nice to have you back. All Randy did was sit there and give me shit.
Oh, man. No, I wouldn't do that.
Don't believe you.
No, I wouldn't believe
I don't
me
believe
either.
you at all.
So that was the big thing. That
No, I was not surprised at all.
That was the big thing, the David's dinner. That was pretty much the big thing that I have done over the past month. But we're here today at Habano's, and we're trying to get as many episodes recorded between today and I think a day next week because of our scheduling conflicts. The next after that, we got the PCA trade show.
Got the trade show coming up in
super
July.
excited about
yeah,
that.
Super excited
Pay
for that.
attention to the website and the Instagram for sure.
At some point this month, I think I might go to Chicago. I don't know if it's going to work out where he can go to Chicago with me, but I am definitely going to try to get to Chicago.
Did you say this month or
Yeah,
next month? This month it would maybe the last weekend. I just got to be a little bit careful though because last year I think I only got the boat out of the driveway like 3 times, and I'm trying to convince the wife to buy a new boat, so I've got to get the boat out a few times.
Yeah, if you use it, you won't lose it. It's kind of like a B&M, right?
Yep.
Use it, you won't lose it. So yeah, Chicago sometime maybe at the end of this month, maybe we'll see. But the trade show coming up in July, and then I'm taking my time on the way back, and I'm going to hit as many lounges as I can to kind of put a spotlight on them, which, by the way, make sure you go to simplystogies.com and check out the new lounge reviews that I've got up. Just this week, I put up the Franklin Cigar Lounge review. Great spot if you're in and around Nashville. Check that out. There will be a lounge review for the Vintage, which I've talked about at length here already on this episode. And there will be a lounge review for the Screamin' Eagles Lounge. That one looked cool. You showed me some pictures. In Clarksville, Tennessee, which is right next to an Army base.
Yeah. Well, is that veteran owned and veteran operated?
It's veteran owned, veteran operated. Great guys there. If you're anywhere near Clarksville, go there. Just don't go to White Castle.
What? Is it a bad White Castle, or are you just saying don't go to White Castle?
No, it gave me food poisoning.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to, I think it was Fort Knox. I'd go off post about 15 minutes or so, and I'd just buy like 2 boxes of belly bombs and then go back to the barracks, put that in the fridge, and that's what I ate. I don't recommend it, especially if you have roommates, but it's a really cheap way to keep food in your stomach.
Yeah, no, it gave me food poisoning. So do not go to the Clarksville White Castle, but definitely go to the Screamin' Eagles Cigar Lounge in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Nice. Do you know of any lounges in Minnesota by any chance? Okay, we'll have to talk about that. I'm going to be taking a trip up there at the end of June.
Minneapolis? St. Paul area?
I'd have to look to see where I'm going
Perfect Dash?
I'm going on a fishing trip up northern Minnesota.
Oh, northern Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have to look.
We'll take a look. We'll take a look.
Then I come back from that PCA trade show, come back from that. And then unfortunately I have to fly because I have to get back because I'm going to play Army for 2 weeks right after the trade show.
Yeah, so that'll be fun for you.
Yeah.
What about in August, end of August, the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest where I'm headed there? Are you headed there?
I would actually like to do that. I would like to try that one out. Tickets go on sale.
Tickets are already on sale.
Oh, are they already on sale? I noticed that all the VIP tickets and everything were already gone.
Yeah, they're already gone.
Which is going to make, I think that's going to be a widespread problem for a lot of these events that get held on. I mean, even, like I said, the Nebraska Cigar Festival, they're going to cater to all the people who bought tickets to the show last year that got canceled because of the pandemic. So those people are going to take up a majority of tickets right off the get-go.
Yeah. There are still tickets available. Last time I looked, there was an early bird special, so I got in on that. But
yeah, I think that ended on the 1st.
Yeah.
So I'll have to I'll have to see if the wife will let me dip into the savings account, and if I can, then yeah, I'd like to go. I think that'd be a cool one. Colorado's beautiful. I love going there.
Yeah, so I think we'll stop in Omaha. Probably visit Safari again, talk to them. Maybe Lincoln on the way out.
Yep.
Hit Capitol, talk to them. If you're in Lincoln, make sure you stop by Cigars. It's downtown Lincoln.
Yep.
It's close to the university.
They got great cocktails, great beers, great cigars, great people.
Make sure
the
you
atmosphere.
Tell Stacy Simply Stogies sent you, and he'll take care of you. I know he put something out on their Facebook saying, "Hey, we're still open. Please come visit." So,
yeah, I think I got an email from him.
Yeah. So make sure you visit Cigars if you're in Lincoln, Nebraska. All right. So let's talk about these. Has that Chicago cigar changed for you at all? Has it been the same throughout? What are you getting?
It's been pretty consistent. The burn has been phenomenal. I don't remember ever touching it up. It's actually pretty decent. So yeah, I would smoke another.
Yeah, I've had to touch this up a couple times, but I talk a lot. The empty can rattles the most, and I certainly rattle on and on and on. But this AFR 75, here's the thing. Price for value. When you look at the Chicago Habano, Chicago Cigars Habano, that is a $9, $10 cigar.
Yep.
For $9 or $10,
$9, $10, yeah.
Is it worth $9 or $10? Is the value there for that?
It's pretty close. I like this one here is, this was the $8 Vitola. And I would say, yeah, I'm good with that.
For $20, and this is huge. I bought it and I thought I'd try it because Freddie told me to try it. It's not worth $20. The smoke's a little bit dry. It's not on the creamy side. Now, the second third that I'm into is actually getting a little bit better than the first third. Mm-hmm. But it's still not anything that I would say, yeah, this is worth $20. Where comparatively, if you smoke a pork belly, that's a $20 cigar, it's worth the $20.
Sure.
This is not.
This is definitely something that's it's worth being on your riding lawnmower, worth being on the boat, sitting around and having conversation with people and not having to pay a lot of focus to the cigar. If that's the situation then you're in, then yeah, this is a good cigar for that.
Yeah, I would pass on this. Or give it a shot if you just want to give it a shot. This is my first go around with PDR.
What I like the fact that you're willing to at least give it a shot.
You should always give it a shot.
Yep.
You got to burn to learn. Somebody told me that
absolutely
early on in my smoking career. You got to burn to learn. So this is I'm learning a lot. And I hope to learn more with this Cigar Bliss book, which you should check it out. Pro Palette Systems, I believe, is what it's called. Check that out.
Is it $350 per person? Is that the business model there? Or is it $350 and you can have all your friends show up and you can all sniff jars together?
$350. I mean, essentially, that is exactly what it is. Yeah. $350, and you get the box, and it's a very nice box. And you get a little map, and it's like a game you can play with your friends. Like, okay, smell this. What is this? It actually, look, in all honesty, Damon at Queen City Cigar Fest went through it. It was fantastic. He went through it with all of us, and then had us go through and talk about what we were tasting in the cigars. And it's so subjective.
Of course.
I mean, think about it. Here's the thing. And who was I talking to? The very last episode that came out, I was talking to Lucas Da Silva from Oxford Cigar Company. And he said that describing a cigar on the website, he's got to really be careful to follow all the regulations. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, when you start talking about what you're tasting, it gets the attention of the FDA.
Really?
Because the FDA says, you're tasting chocolate? You're tasting graham cracker?
Your bubble gum? Yeah.
You're tasting, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense,
so
actually.
It gets their attention, and then they're like, okay, what are you putting in your cigar? These are premium hand roll. It's leaves, dried friggin' leaves. So it's all about how your brain is interpreting what your palate is tasting. And it's all based on experience. It's all based on what you're drinking. It's all based on what you ate earlier. It's all based on when you last brushed your teeth. There's a ton of things that it's based on.
That's a PSA. Brush your teeth. Brush your tooth.
Dirty bastards. Brush your teeth. Yeah. So you got to be careful. But the Pro Palate helps you kind of figure out exactly what it is you're tasting.
All right, it sounds interesting. I just think that for me personally, I would rather swing over to your place and sniff your jars than spend $350 to have my own jars.
That is a weird sentence to come out of your mouth.
Not if you know me. If you know me, that's pretty typical. So that's Randy, a common sentence.
Randy from the last episode, Randy Carmine, he bought it. And so I think he's going to bring it in at some point here to Habano and do a tasting.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about maybe doing something on Cigars and Coffee, or maybe Tales from the Lounge, and give it just to our Buy Me a Coffee supporters. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Simply Stogies. And if you like the content you see here, support us down at the bottom. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notify button so you get notifications when new videos come out.
And don't be afraid to watch this more than once.
Watch it twice.
Well, at least twice. We're trying to double our numbers.
We are trying to double our numbers. All right, so let's rate this coffee. Now, we didn't really talk about the coffee a whole lot, but the coffee is super smooth. Yeah. It's very, very, very good. I like this coffee a lot.
I like this coffee a lot too. This is the $20 per pound price point kind of scares me a little bit.
Price for value.
I know it, right? But it is a really good coffee. You probably made it in your K-cup machine. No, you didn't. So this is like legitimate, like real. I made a pot of coffee and poured it in
the mug.
All right, I'm going to give an extra point to the coffee just because of the effort that you put in. I'm going to go 9. Are we doing a whole number, or are we doing like a 1 through 10?
1 through 10, you can do decimals.
All right, I'm doing a 9.3.
9.3. I'm going to give this 9.1.
Well, that's really close. I would have been a 9.2, but I gave it the extra point for you putting in the effort. So I think we're good.
It's really good.
It is.
Be Bright Coffee. This is the Guatemalan blend. The San Marcos is what it's called. Tasting notes again are raisins, vanilla, and apple pie. I do not get apple pie at all. There's a little bit of sweetness there. It actually is making this cigar tolerable.
I think this coffee is really good, and I think, unfortunately for me, it probably took away from the cigar. But who knows? It could have added to it. I just don't realize it. But I think that's probably the case, is that the coffee probably took away from my cigar.
Before we talk about the cigars, before we rate the cigar, is this better than anything you've had from Janus Coffee Roasters?
Ooh.
Because I still think that Cuban blend.
That Cuban blend is amazing.
Sumatra.
Yeah. It's really close. It's really good. But again, the price point, I'm going to go to Janus every day, all day, because it's great coffee and it's more in the range of something that I'm willing to spend on coffee on a regular basis.
And yeah, we're going to go. I think we're going to try to talk Shad into letting us come up to Wyoming and see how he does things, get some video of that, sit down with him for cigars and coffee.
Yeah, I think he's all for it. I've kind of chatted with him a little bit on Instagram about it. I don't know he's probably super busy. He might not even remember that conversation. It was a while ago.
Maybe we should try to do it right after the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest.
That might work.
I don't know. We're thinking.
Yeah,
here
the wheels
are
turning. If you can't hear them, that's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive because they've locked up. All right, so rate the cigar. Rate that Chicago Cigars. Now, this is the Chicago cigar.
It is
Habano. This is
the Habano.
I've never heard of Chicago cigars.
Yep, never is first time for me seeing it as well. Again, like I said, this cigar I think probably had a little bit taken away from the coffee. It's great for the boat. It's great for the lawnmower. It's great for walking your dog if you have one of those.
Are you saying it's a yard guard?
No, I'm not going to say that, but I am going to say that I'm going to give it an 84 or 8.4. This is what I'm going to get. I don't think this is a bad cigar.
Okay.
I just don't think it's the best cigar in the 5-pack.
Probably not.
No,
we'll talk about the 5-pack here in just a second.
No chance.
The AFR 75 from PDR Cigars. I'm going to give this an 8.1.
All right.
I was vacillating between 7.9 and 8.1, but I don't think it's bad enough to be a 7.9. Give it a shot. I mean, you might like it. I don't know. I'm not a big ring gauge guy. I've already smoked a ton. Check out the 770 BBC review at simplystogies.com. The guys at Deep South Cigars. That was actually really good for a large ring gauge cigar. That was pretty good. I think I gave it an 8.9.
I'm kind of interested to get my hands on one. And it doesn't matter how you say it or talk about the BBC.
But that's the joke.
It is the joke. No matter what you do.
If you listen to the episode that I had with Jeremy,
I really enjoyed that episode because it was super down to earth. It was really laid back.
It was a lot of fun.
I like it. He's within the first 5 minutes, he's like, "Oh, do we have to filter ourselves?" And you're like, "Fuck it."
No, I don't ever filter anybody. I give them the option, like the sausage is made. I tell everybody, look, if you say something that you don't want out there in the ether, I can edit it out. Just let me know. It's fine. I know that when we're talking, we're having a good time. You might loosen up a little bit, say something you maybe shouldn't or don't want to.
Right.
I'll edit it out. I have yet to have anybody take me up on that. But he asked me, he's like, do I have to filter myself? Well, fuck no, you don't got to filter yourself.
Right.
You got to filter yourself.
Oh, it was a really good episode.
Yeah. So that was a fun episode. The guys from Deep South Cigars, check them out. DeepSouthCigars.com. What was it? Oh yeah, the BBC. So he was sitting at the lounge, and somebody had a dark, big Maduro in their mouth, and he goes, "It looks like you're sucking on a BBC."
Yeah.
And the guy looked at him and he said, "I dare you to make a cigar and call it the BBC." He goes,
"Done.
Fuck it.
Challenge accepted."
Yeah, and he did it.
And amazingly, it's taken off. It's worked. Like.
It has worked. It's going to be a regular production cigar from Deep South Cigars. It's very good. Like I said, 8.9 for a large ring gauge, 7x70.
Yeah. No, that's one I'll take out massive. On the boat.
Yeah. It's smoked for hours. I think 2.5 hours is what I got out of both.
It's a lot of cigar.
It is a lot of cigar. I'll throw one in there for you.
Oh, perfect.
So you too can experience the BBC.
I can't wait.
Remember folks, before we get out of here, Simply Stogies 5-pack here at Habano, $70 shipped to your door. You get the free tool, the 30 tools in one thing. Cut your seatbelt. That's the big one for me because I'm always like, what happens if I go in the river and I can't get the seatbelt off?
Right. And that's happened several times in your life, and this would have come in handy each one of those times. So it's really amazing that you survived that and you're here today.
It's amazing that I go anywhere because I don't fly for the same reason.
Right. Well, I mean, I prefer to walk the shoes of Bon Jovi and stay out of anything that flies, but sometimes you have to.
Give Freddie, Mark, David, Carly, everybody here at Habano is great. Give them a call. 563-888-5477. Ask for the Simply Stogies 5-pack. Again, you're going to get the Don Pepin Garcia original. So if you're a My Father fan, like that's one of the better ones, I think. You get a Juarez Toro from Crowned Heads. You get the Tabernacle Toro, which I love the Tabernacle from Foundation. And then you get your choice of any of the Chicago cigars, either Maduro, Connecticut, or Habano. Tim just smoked a Habano.
I just did the Habano. I think if you don't specify, if you just say send me the 5-pack, you're probably going to get the Habano.
Probably the Habano.
Yep.
And then the pork belly. There you go.
Perfect.
We're going to end the episode now because I don't got nothing else to talk about. I'm James.
I'm Tim.
Stay smoky, friends.